Hey, welcome back. Today I thought I would do another paint with me. I haven't done one of these in a long time and I thought it would be fun. So I'm going to be using Glam Polish's Goonies Never Say Die. I've had this for several years and I've never worn it. This is so pretty. It's got a kind of like jelly navy base, and then it's got those really pretty kind of like limey green glitters, and then those pinky purple kind of like magenta-ish glitters. And I thought this would be really fun. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, from what I remember, this is a pretty jelly-ish formula. So I might end up doing 3 thin coats, but we'll see how it looks after 2. So I thought I would use this time to update you guys on how work has been going. I know the last time I talked about work was when I did that nursing video explaining how I finally got my dream job. For those of you that didn't watch that, well, not a lot of glitters on the first pass. So for those of you that didn't watch that video, I explained how I've been a nurse for 13 years and I was with adults for 13 years, but my dream was always to do pediatric nursing, pediatric ICU in particular. And last year was a really rough year for me with work, and I was just getting increasingly frustrated, and I finally started looking into a new job after being with my hospital for 11 years. And I started noticing that there were a lot of pediatric openings. And I mentioned how pediatrics in Florida, at least, is a very coveted position. It's very hard to get into pediatrics. Positions are never available. Nurses never leave their jobs because they love their jobs. And the only way you can ever really get in the door is, if nurses move, or in my case, a bunch of nurses had retired. And so I saw a bunch of positions and I went on several interviews. At first, what I thought was my dream hospital, I did not initially get the job. It was very close. I didn't get the job. And then they later reached back out to me and offered me the position. But by that point, I had already accepted a position at a different hospital and realized that the second hospital that I'm currently working at was actually a better hospital and a better fit for me. So I've been at the second hospital, the second hospital that I interviewed at. I've been at that hospital for almost 4 months now. I started the beginning of May. It's now the beginning of September. I did 12 weeks of orientation, which initially I was only supposed to have 8 weeks. And I was a little upset when they told me that they were extending me to 12 weeks. I thought it was just a reflection on me and that I wasn't doing good enough. And then the more I thought about it, I was actually quite happy that they're extending my orientation, because a lot of places don't give you enough orientation, and I might have to go out of frame to do my thumb. I'd rather have too much orientation than not enough orientation, especially considering this is an entirely new specialty. Everything about, child bodies is different than adults. Vital signs are different. How they react to things are different. So I really had to relearn everything. Now, granted, I did still have 13 years of nursing experience. There are basic nursing skills that translate regardless of if you're in, pediatrics or adults. So I'm trying to figure out where to put the bottle without blocking my view. So I still had 13 years of basic experience, basic nursing skills. I don't know where to put this bottle. I guess over here. And so I really thought that those basic skills, 13 years of experience, granted none of it was pediatric experience, but I really thought that having that strong core foundation was really going to help me. Now, one thing I will say is that you hear a lot of, nurses eating their young, and basically that means nurses don't really support or are not, they're not friendly to new nurses. One thing that I had heard over the years was that pediatric ICU nurses in particular were not nice, that they were the epitome of nurses eating their young. And like I said, I naively thought that because I had 13 years of experience, that wouldn't be the case, that they would see my value and that, yes, I don't know anything about pediatrics, but that I'm still a strong nurse. That was not necessarily the case. I will say in the beginning, most of the nurses were very friendly to me. They were very gracious. They were like willing to teach me, explain things to me. They were just friendly. However, there was a very small, I think I'm out of frame, I'm sorry. I can't quite reach my pinky without going out of frame. A handful of staff that were not friendly, that they, I don't want to give too many details. I'm gonna have to go out of frame again to do my thumb again, I'm sorry. I don't want to give too many details, but let's just say not everyone was welcoming. Some people just acted as if I was a brand new nurse, as if I was stupid. I had zero experience with anything. Some of them just didn't trust me, acted, like I said, like I was a brand new nurse. Okay, this is one coat. This is pretty. I'm not getting a ton of glitters. I guess I'm kind of getting more glitters on the thumbs. Looks like I got more glitters on this hand than this hand. Maybe I went a little heavier handed on this hand. So I'm gonna let this dry for a second and then I'm going to try to do a thicker layer, a thicker second layer. Okay, now I'm gonna do my second coat. Okay, so like I was saying, the first few months were a little rough for me. I had a huge learning curve that I had to get over. Everything was new to me. Even though I had a little bit of ICU experience at my last hospital, it was not a trauma hospital. It was a very small ICU. If we had really critical patients, they were shipped out to another hospital. So everything was new to me. And then, like I said, it's children and everything about them is different. Their vital signs are different. Okay, that's much better in 2 coats. Look at that. And I just had to learn a lot more critical stuff, things that I never saw at my last hospital. And on top of that, on top of everything being new, I was also having to deal with some animosity. There were a few that really were making things difficult for me. Like the animosity, hostility coming off of these couple people is just insane. So anyways, I got through my 12 weeks of training. The last, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks of my training, I was pretty much on my own. My preceptor was completely in the background. I was doing the work completely by myself, which honestly felt really amazing. I was, doing really well on my time management. I was able to prove to myself that I was able to do this. And the last several weeks went really well. And then I was on my own. I've been on my own for 4 weeks now. So about a month I've been on my own. I'm gonna have to go out of frame to do my thumb again. They've started me off with pretty stable patients. I will usually have 2 stable patients. Sometimes if I'll have one that's a bit heavier, but then the second patient will be very stable. So everything's going well. I'm doing great on my time management. I'm not having to ask, I'm able to get my work done. I'm able to handle my workload. Of course, everyone in the ICU helps each other. So if I need help, of course I can ask. And there are certain things that we're not even allowed to do by ourselves. You have to have a second person to do them, to do like a safety check. And so everyone has been really great. Even the ones that have shown animosity towards me when it comes to the patients, everyone is hands-on, everyone helps. It's pretty amazing. One thing I will say that's really amazing that I did see a little bit in the adult ICU, but it's to an extreme here, like in a good way. Anytime anyone has a new admission, everyone not everyone, because, some people still have to, watch the other patients, but a large majority of the floor goes directly to that room, helping set them up, hooking them up to the monitors. Someone is grabbing the critical medications. Someone else is, looking into the patient's pupils. Someone else is listening to the lungs. Someone else is taking pulses. Someone else is, getting out the tape measure and measuring the patient. And everyone is calling out, their assessments of whatever they're doing. And then the charge nurse is at the computer documenting everything. And so you as a primary nurse, are stabilizing the patient. Everyone's helping you to stabilize. The doctor's in the room. Everyone is hands-on. And then, like I said, if you have another patient, someone else takes the initiative and, will take care of your patient for you. And then by time the patient is completely stable, everything is completely done. The charge nurse has completely charted your initial assessment. They've done the admission. You have nothing to do except for now take care of your patient, and then of course, chart the continuing assessments. But the initial assessment is done. I've never seen this before. Like I'm gonna have to go over it again. Maybe I can try to do it this way. Like at my last hospital, everyone would go to the patient's room and they would help you get them on the monitor, maybe set up with some vitals and maybe pull some meds for you. But that's it. Like, no one is helping you with your assessment. No one's helping you with any of the charting. Sometimes it might take 2 to 3 hours to get your patient stabilized, and then you have to go and chart everything. But here, that's not the case. Look at that, you guys. I think I kind of want to do a third coat just to make it a little richer. So I'm gonna let this dry and then I'll do the third coat. Okay, so like I was saying before, because I'm having right now mostly stable patients, or my workload is a little bit easier. I've had more time in the shift to help other people, so I'm constantly going around, how can I help you? When we get a new admission, I'm always in the room. I'm always one of the first ones in the room, doing everything I can, learning as much as I can, helping in any way I can. And then, once the patient gets stabilized, I will go and help with, the nurse's other patients. I'm just always going around making myself as valuable as possible. And I know that people are starting to see, I know that people have been seeing this. I know the managers are seeing this. I know my coworkers are seeing this. They're starting to trust me more. The animosity from the couple that I talked about has lessened. They're being a lot more friendly. I wouldn't say we're ever going to be best friends or anything, but they're being friendlier, more respectful. The ones that were always friendly in the first place are really friendly still. They're very nice. I'm building rapport with everyone. So things are going much smoother now. I feel like, it was a really rough start. Not gonna lie, I went home crying a lot of times. I didn't know if I was good enough. I didn't know if I was going to jive with everyone. A lot of people, although everyone was friendly, I was kind of being excluded socially. I would try to join in conversations and I don't know, I would kind of be ignored, or just, I don't know how to really explain it. I just didn't feel like I was fitting in socially, which was really hard for me. I've never really experienced this before. I've always had good rapport with my patients' family members, with my coworkers. I've always just done very well. And the fact that this was a really rough start for me was really hard for me. And I was feeling isolated. I was feeling like nobody liked me. And like I said, I was, going home crying all the time. I never doubted switching specialties. I knew from the bottom of my heart that that was the right move. I, however, was questioning if I was in the right place. But to be honest, everything that I've heard, they're all the same. So no matter where I went, I was always going to have to go through this initial rough patch. From what I've heard, when you start a new specialty, it can take up to a year for everyone to fully trust you and for you to really fit in. So I don't think it's going to take a full year. I already feel like I'm finally starting to fit in. People, like I said, people are starting to trust me. I'm starting to feel more comfortable. I'm getting my confidence back. I'm feeling good about things. And I just feel like I'm starting to be in a good place. Like I said, I never doubted switching specialties. I'm extremely happy. I love the pediatric population. I'm so glad that I finally switched. This is definitely where I was meant to be. I'm loving the work. I am seeing so much. Like I said before, my hospital before was very small. My hospital now is a trauma hospital. We're a teaching hospital, so we get all of the really critical stuff. And every day, I think I'm gonna have to go frame again, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that abrupt cutoff. This is 3 thin coats. I really like this. I used Glossy Top Coat, Orly's Polish Shield. And I forgot to mention my base coats. Anytime I have a polish like this that might stain, I do double up on my base coats because I've been working really hard to grow out my stains. So the first one I have is Nail Aid Keratin 3-Day Growth Treatment. Really like this stuff. This has really been making my nails grow like crazy, which has really helped with the stains growing out. And then I'm using Orly's Calcium Shield on top. I really like this, you guys. Look how pretty this is. I love the dark blackened navy blue, and then those glitters are really cute, really pretty. Can't believe it's taking me so long to wear this. Okay, but I did want to finish up the conversation that we were having. So I think I left off, I was saying how I love the work. We are a trauma hospital and a teaching hospital, so we get a lot of the critical cases. I'm seeing so much stuff that I've never even seen before. A lot of neurological cases. A lot of the kids are chronic. They have a lot of like genetic defects, mutations, which come with a lot of chronic issues. So we get a lot of patients that come back all the time. A lot of like seizure disorders that go along with those genetic defects. A lot of like brain surgeries, a lot of neuro stuff. So a lot to do with the head and the brain. A lot of traumas, a lot of drownings, a lot of what we call non-accidental traumas, which exactly what it sounds like, non-accidents, basically abuse cases. I had, when I first started, one of the first few weeks I was there, we had a patient that was on leech therapy, which I didn't even know they still did that. I didn't know we still used leeches. I thought that was like archaic, and we no longer did that. We had one patient that, I don't want to give too many details. I don't want to be too graphic, but basically the patient was covered head to toe in burns. I don't want to say how the patient got those burns. I'll just say that it was a non-accidental trauma. It was very emotional. It was very I'm just seeing so much. I don't want to say it's fascinating because that sounds callous, like these are people and they're in the ICU. So I don't want to come across as callous, but just the amount of stuff that I'm seeing, that I'm learning. I mean, as a scientist, as a nurse, as, you know, wanting to go into the critical care aspect, it is interesting to see so much, to learn so much. But like I said, I don't want to come across in the wrong way. Very sad. But it's just, I'm very happy. I don't know, I'm really loving it. I'm so glad that I made the switch. I think that I eventually will be very happy at this hospital. And I don't know, everything is just starting to fall into place. like I said, I'm on my own now, which means I'm working my own schedule. I'm not having to follow anyone else's schedule. So I'm able to put in my requests, and I typically work my days 3 in a row. So I will put in the days that I want to work, and then of course it has to get approved. They have to balance the schedule. But I'm putting my shifts together, which means that I'm having more time off, because when you're a night nurse, your first day off is not really a day off. It's spent recovering. So I get home, I work Tuesday night, I get home on a Wednesday. Say I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I get home Wednesday after my 3 shifts. And Wednesday is my first day off, but I go home on my day off and then I have to sleep. So it's not a true day off. So I like to stack my shifts, which is really hard, stacking your shifts, because you're exhausted by the end. But it's the only way to really have enough days off in a row that aren't just spent recovering. So that's really nice. I'm spending more time with these new friends that I've made. I'm just overall feeling a lot better than I was last year. I'm starting to feel more like myself. I'm happier. I'm not as lonely now that I have these new friends. And I'm finally in a specialty that I love, and this is where I was meant to be. So overall, I'm just doing very well. Like I said, it was a rough start. I wasn't sure if I was going to get to this point, but here I am. I'm happy. And I don't know what else to say. I'm happy. Work's going well. Socially, things are going well, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. I'm so happy it's fall, you guys. I'm already wearing my fall shirt. I'm gonna start making my fall rack. Now that I have more time, I'm able to start recording more videos. I had uploaded, I think it was my most recent purples video, the magenta orchid drawer. That was my last video, and I recorded up to that drawer. I recorded months ago. And that was my last video that I had pre-recorded. So I have no videos left. So I've started to record videos again. I'm going to continue on with my declutter series. I'm gonna have it finished by this year. I'm gonna have them all uploaded by this year. I don't think by December. I think I'll probably finish uploading maybe by like October, because I like to stagger them. But anyways, I'm recording more. I'm happy to finally get back into recording, have more time to start recording. I'm going to continue on with my dupe series. I'm going to start doing a lot more paint with me's. I would like to do some stamps with me, especially now that we're getting into the fall season. Halloween and Christmas are my favorite time of year. So that's a goal. And yeah, I'm just happy to be getting back into things. Things are going well. And I don't know, I just want to give you guys a quick update. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.